The last example is something that I have dealt with extensively in my book, Democracy, the God That Failed. I must loot the country as fast as possible, because what I don't loot now, I will not be able to loot in the future.
Hans Hermann Hoppe, Democracy, the God That Failed. And I think that I was just sort of musing to myself in the car earlier today that Hans sort of took libertarianism. He was like an, I don't know if understudy is the right word for it, but he was very close to Murray Rothbard. And I think that Hans Hermann Hoppe sort of like fucking unkiked libertarianism, if you will, making it less about this like, hyper-inclusive fucking social degenerate nonsense that a lot of people pitch, and saying like, no, we're talking about privatizing everything and setting standards, and if you think that people who set high standards are going to be less successful than people who set low standards, then you're a fucking idiot, and I dare you to try it. I feel so bad for people who are still stuck in this mind frame of working out our differences with the left. It's so liberating, when you come to the conclusion that blood is the only answer. It's so frustrating trying to convince people of things which seem obvious to you, or trying to negotiate with people who have absolutely no concept of what it means to enter into an agreement and be bound by its terms. And once you realize that leftists are subhuman animals who do not experience the world like we do, you realize that killing them seems no more immoral than putting this fucking steak on a grill.
One almost wishes that Saddam Hussein would be back, that Gaddafi would be back, that Assad would regain his power in Syria, and so forth.
The king does not have an attitude, I must loot the country as fast as possible, because if I don't loot it as fast as possible, I will not be able to do it in the future. As a matter of fact, if he doesn't loot it as much, the value of his country will be higher and his heirs will get something better.
I have been saying, what is an argument, the necessity of the argument. I'm working on a book about how to make an argument and what an argument is. I know that the argument is civilization, the argument is life, the argument is civility, the argument is humanity, the argument is peace.
If you look at democratic politicians, the total debt goes up in wartime and in peacetime. They are not personally liable for it. There are always some suckers in the future that are liable for it. You would be literally stupid if you don't go continuously into debt, as our politicians of course all do, because the money that you take in, you can give out, you make plenty of friends, and in the long run we are all dead. Who cares what happens in the future? So democratic politicians are short-run people. They are like little children, as I explained in my lecture about time preference. I have to have the fun right now. Whereas kings tend to be behaving more like adults.
Those people who want to create some sort of world state, the European project is just a sub-chapter in this chapter of trying to create a world state.